classmates! Welcome to another episode of the School World's ELL Talks. For today's video, we're gonna talk about discourse and gender, academic discourse, and discourse and news. Let's get started!
We're going to discuss about the discourse and gender. But before I start, let's watch first this video.
4 times ang katawanan for today's top look and list it dahil ang funniest scenes from the 2013s, girl boy bakla tomboy, ang papasakit ng ating tiyan in a good way syempre. Roll the clip!
Anak?
Panyeng, di ba sabi ko sa'yo, ayusin mo itong silya?
You.
Wow.
So...
Is this a Jackstone residence?
Yes, that is the house. Upstairs.
Kahuli pa niya, no? Ngay,
Your mom.
Naku, anak! Ang lalaki ko, ang gwapo-gwapo niya, di ba?
What the... Pops? Isa pa. Isa pa.
Dala ba ito ng gutom ko kaya doble-doble sila o sadyang apat talaga sila?
Baka kambal-kambal.
Baka yung dalawa nakamaskara lang.
Hindi, ano ba kayo? Apat talaga sila.
Ilang rounds pa ba?
Hay naku, bakit naman? Ano bakit naman?
Dalawang mukha pa nga lang, nakakatakot na. Apat pa kaya?
Oo nga.
Uy, mga bata, sige na. Magsitulog na kayo, ha? Okay? Gabi na.
Good night, night.
Sige na, good night.
Mga anak mo rin sila, may baluga pa.
Ikaw naman, ano ba tingin mo sa akin, baboy? Pagkatapos ng apat, dapat apat ulit, ganon?
Huh? Hindi.
Mga anak? Alam niyo, ang sarap niyong panoorin pag magkakatabi kayong apat.
Opa?
Oh, yes.
Ayoko! Hindi ako makapapayag.
Mga anak, wag!
Ayoko, Nay!
Anak, wag!
Ayoko!
Anak, wag yan, anak. Lockdown ng ospital yan, ibalik mo.
Ito?
Oo.
Hindi ba libre to? Basta kahit anong sabihin nyo, hindi ko ibibigay ang libre ko sa'yo!
Hindi naman buo eh. Just a little. Para mo ng awa. Palimos ng liver.
Palimos? Pasaload niya, hindi ko kayang gawin pasaliver pa?
How could you not give your liver to your own brother?
How could you not care for all of us all these years? Your sister, your brother, and even your mother.
Galing ng te ha. Straight English ha.
Saan mo nakuha yun? Ay, ang binasa ko lang nakalagay sa script, nakalagay, Mark.
Oh, may kulang ka pa pala. How could you? Sabihin mo, how could you?
How could you?
O ikaw, sasagutin mo yung how could you?
So tell us, how do we convince you?
Wala kayong dapat gawin. At wala rin akong kailang ipaliwanag sa inyo. Hindi ko ipagkakait sa inyong inay. Dahil karapatan nyo yung bilang mga anak niya. Pero karapatan kong ipagdamot ang liver ko.
English, please.
My liver! Never!
Apia. Siya nga pala, salamat sa ginawa mong pagkumbinsi para kay Mark.
Ay, huwag ka sa akin magpasalamat. Sa kanya ka magpasalamat.
Anak, salamat nga pala sa... Ang galing mo pala tumutug ng piano.
Magaling ba, tay?
Ang galing-galing.
Pati nyo subukan. Madali lang ho ito. Sabayin nyo lang yung kaset. Ano ba? Bakit ang tagal-tagal mo? Tuloy ka makaligo dahil sa kupad mo. I can't imagine myself doing this for you. Are you a queen or something? Hindi mo ba nakikita? Hirap na nga ako. Kung di ka ba naman kasi sira ulo, alam mo mag-iigib ka, nagtakong-takong ka pa. Ikaw tong sira ulo, alam mo na walang tubig, naligo-ligo ka pa. Dahil sa sinabi mong yan, punuin mo tong drum na to. What if I don't want to? O di walang ata yung kapatid mo. Ito naman, di naman biro. Wala bang mas malaki dito? Tawagin mo barangay, magpaligo tayo na sabay-sabay.
Mark! Ano ka ba? Ano itong sinusumbong ng tiyo-tiyo mo sa akin na pinahihirapan mo ito yung mga kapatid mo? Totoo ba yun?
Anong ginawa kong masama?
Aba, hindi ba sabi mo mag-a-outing kayo?
Outing? Out of town to na di outing.
Ba't pinagtatrabaho mo yung mga kapatid mo?
Ano namang masama kung pagtrabahuin ko sila? Buong buhay ko nagtrabaho naman ako dito sa bukid, pinagtrabaho mo ko noon ah. So ibig sabihin masama akong ina? Can I explain? Wala ka nang dapat pang i-explain dahil alam na naming lahat na yung budhi mo ay sing-itim ng pagkalaki-laki mong nunal. Nunal? As in mole? Oo. Ayan, nasa bibig mo. Nagmumurang mole of Asia. Where? Ayan, nasa mukha mo. Oh my God! All this time, I have a booger in my mouth and nobody even bothered to tell me! Kadiri ko langot nga! Magsilayas nga kayo rito! Mukha kang kanapera sa laula ka! Oh my God! Nangyari. Naipush naming apat na magkabalikan si nanay at tatay. Ang saya-saya ko lang na nagkasama na kami ulit. Pero teka, hindi lang ako ang masaya. Siyempre, dapat lahat kami. Si Girlie, nung nalaman ko nagmamahala naman pala talaga sila ni Harry, ako nang nagparaya. What? Ito namang mga batang to, sila ang nagturo sa aming magmahalan. Kung sila nga na hindi naman totoong kadugo pa niya.
With that video, we can say that every human has their own characteristic or classification based on how they act, act and how they dress themselves. I'll give you an example. There is a man who dresses himself as a girl or as a woman. Okay, we can classify them or consider him as a gay. And there is a woman who dresses herself as a man, so we can consider her as a lesbian. And there is a circumstances that a people make their own conclusion and has their own suspicions on how a specific person act. Just like, for example, there is a man who has lots of girlfriends and people considered him as a faggot. When we say faggot, is describe a man who is not yet out from his closet and is still acting and believing that he is a straight man. And now let's talk about the bad side of gender and discourse. Okay, the bad side of this is it has a stereotype, because if a woman fall in love or has a relationship to a younger man, people give them or bash her because of doing that. Unlike to a man who has a younger partner or has a younger girl or women partner, because in our society the word patriarchy is still existing. Why I say so? Because when the man is wrong, they still right, because our society accepts it, but still has a little bit of euphemism in terms of, just like for example, the two kinds of cougar, the negative one and the positive one. Okay, let's talk about the negative one first. When we see the negative cougar, when there is an old woman has a relationship with a younger man, people discriminate her because of doing that. The positive cougar it talks about is just like, for example, there is a woman, whether she is young or old, as long as she has no partner, it is okay to our society to see her mingling or hanging outside with other guy, because she has no commitment at all, and it's okay if she has a one night stand or having sex with that specific man only for just a one night. And lastly, we're going to discuss the relevance of this study to my nearest future as an English teacher. Okay, the relevance of this is it will help me to know what kind of approach I will give to my student if I enter in a room who have a different gender, and for them to avoid thinking favoritism and to avoid discrimination. And that would be all. Thank you.
Hi classmates, for the next part of this video, we are going to talk about academic discourse. So first, let me introduce to you a video which will somehow describe or discuss what is academic discourse. So hope you like that.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about Wakanda today. So obviously I have some gifts on here. This is an elephant, they're elephants of Wakanda. This is a rhinoceros. Here's a black panther. That's their national animal. We're going to have a lot of black panthers in this slideshow. And then these are some images of Wakanda.
Wow.
So where's Wakanda?
Yeah, where is Wakanda?
It's in Africa. So this is Africa.
Okay, where in Africa though?
Oh, right here, Carrie. Do you see this?
Oh,
right
okay.
there? Right there. That's Wakanda. And the currency is the Wakandian dollar. So here's a picture of the Wakandian dollar. As you can see, it says Banki Ku Ya Wakanda. And that says Azuri. That's this guy's name, I guess.
Right.
This is the flag. As you can see, it has the panther on it.
Wow.
It's said that the first chieftain of Wakanda was a legendary warrior named Bashenga, who received this special knowledge from the panther goddess Bast, and he's basically turned him into this amazing warrior known as the Black Panther.
That they have electronic files.
Their economy is primarily focused on the mining of the rich natural resources such as vibranium.
What's vibranium?
Right here, it's the 76th element. It's really rare.
What is it used for?
It's used in a lot of military technology.
Is that right?
Yeah, you put it into it's a very strong material.
They also weave it into their clothing and stuff too.
They do, yeah.
It's like everywhere.
It can be.
How many slides are there?
A lot.
No.
Yeah. King T'Chaka was killed on June 22nd in a terrorist attack on a UN building. This terrorist
So
attack.
the UN has a building in Wakanda?
King T'Challa right here. This is T'Challa's son.
He's a king?
Yeah. Have you seen him before?
Good looking, no.
He is. So.
How do you know this?
It's
It's a lot of celebrities really are trying to bring attention to the struggle.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Does everybody here know about Wakanda?
Yeah. He wants
Okay, is this like a joke on the Carrie?
The only thing more shocking than this tragedy is the fact you didn't know about it. Honestly.
Seriously?
What's so funny? A lot of celebrities like Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. What's so funny?
I don't know who they are.
They're celebrities.
Where have I been under a rock if this is all true? Yeah.
This is all real. Resolution, what happened was Eric was killed during the war.
You know I'm gonna check this out, right?
But now T'Challa, he's back in power and he's vowed to increase Wakanda's presence in global affairs. However, recently there's been some reports from Wakanda saying that he's vanished, so I don't really know what's going on with that. That just happened.
So you put Wakanda in your presentation the other day to bring awareness?
I put it
Did you
better-
know I didn't know?
I didn't know that you didn't know about Wakanda, but I put it in there because it was on the map. I like that map. It was a Spanish map and it included Wakanda. And there's a lot of stuff going on about Wakanda.
Anything else?
That's it. That is.
Well, that was well done.
It was on the map. I like that map. It was a Spanish map and it included Wakanda. And there's a lot of stuff going on about Wakanda.
Anything else?
That's it. That is.
Well, that was well done.
So what is the reason why I let you watch that video? So that video revolves around the concept of academic discourse. Why? Because the student presented a PowerPoint video or PowerPoint presentation of what is Wakanda, which is in the part of the teacher, she doesn't know or she didn't know what is that. So the student used discourse to explain and to discuss what is his topic. What is academic discourse? Academic discourse refers to the ways of thinking and using language that exists in the academy. For example, it is language that helps students and teachers to facilitate various things in the university or in the academy. How teachers educate students, how teachers demonstrate learnings, disseminate ideas, and construct knowledge is an example of academic discourse. Next, academic discourse constructs social roles and relationships which create academics and students. It is for the fact that individuals or every one of us write problems and we write problems to understand issues in ways specific to a particular social group. And by doing this, we can form or construct social realities, personal identities, and professional institutions. So the next is discourse is at the heart of academic enterprise. So why is that? It is because that the way we collaborate and compete with other people create knowledge, and by doing this, it helps us to reveal and discover learnings that would define academic allegiances. So in a nutshell, academic discourse refers to all kinds of language used and produced in the academic setting by professionals or by teachers, by students, or in written, spoken, and online forms. So moreover, academic discourse encompasses the idea of dialogue or the language used and a format that facilitate a high level of communication in the discussion. Also, what is important is that students use or are able to process and interact using a high academic vocabulary. So what are the importance of academic discourse? So in various countries like in Asia, in Australasia, in Europe, there is a huge expansion of higher education. It is the result of the greater social inclusion policies. So a lot of students migrate into various countries and they become international students, which they pay fee to that particular school, and in exchange of that, they create a student body or character which is far more culturally, socially, linguistically heterogeneous. What do we mean by that? in every part of the world, there would be international students and universities who would like to learn various knowledge, learnings that would help them in their future. So the next importance is that students could learn rapidly and deal with various multidisciplinary disciplines or degrees. So we all know that in college or in the academy, we are to learn a lot of things so we can graduate. So in order for us to graduate, we have to first learn multidisciplinary things for us to be flexible in our chosen field. So in academic discourse, it only means that we have to hone our skills so that we could be excellent professionals in the future. So by that, it only means that in the academy, it hones us to become professionals. So the next importance is that in academic discourse, it publishes various or different researches. So writing is the most common way of students to consolidate and demonstrate their understanding of their subjects and how they engage with knowledge in new ways when they enter the university. However, study shows that academics all over the world are increasing less likely to publish their own research in their own language. Also, with authors encouraging libraries to subscribe to online versions of journals, the impact of English becomes self-perpetuating. The impact of English becomes self-perpetuating because it is in these journals that the authors will be most visible in the world stage and will receive more credit. So, how is academic discourse studied? Discourse analysis comprises a broad collection of methods for studying language in action, looking at text in relation to the social context in which they are used. Because language is complex and because language is complex as part of the social life, this broad definition has been interpreted in various ways across the social sciences. So in academic context, discourse analysis has tended to be a methodology which focuses on concrete text rather than an institutional social practice. So we could say that in the academy, discourse analysis is more focused on the written text rather than in the other fields in the academy. For example, it focuses more on research, dissertations, and others. So let us discuss genre analysis. So first, what is genre? According to Highland 2004, genre is a term for grouping text together, representing how writers typically use language to respond to recurrent situations. So exemplars of a genre exhibit various patterns similarly in terms of structure, style, content, and intended audience. So the examples of academic genres are research articles, conference, proposal, business report, grant application, MA dissertation, lectures, and seminars. So, what do we mean by genre analysis? Genre analysis sees text as a representative of wider rhetorical practices. It seeks to show what is usual in collections of text and so helps to reveal underlying ideologies and discourses. Hence, we could say that genre analysis is a process of looking at several samples of a particular genre to analyze their differences and similarities in terms of their purpose and macrostructure and language choice. Furthermore, genre analysis adds to our understanding of how language is used within an important discourse community. It also discusses linguistics and social linguistic theory to classify the nature of language use and language learning in our educational setting. So, academic discourse does not only function as a tool to convey one's thoughts, but also influences one's formation of social identity, values, and world knowledge. So overall, this topic or this discussion is relevant for us English majors because this gives us an idea what academic discourse is and how it helps us in understanding that there are conversations that matter. So for us English majors, academic discourse helps us to discover language and literature knowledge and will enable us to craft excellent research papers that would be essential to the future academic setting. Moreover, academic discourse helps us to prepare ourselves to become language and literature educators. It exposes us to the academic community and it will help us to acquire social practice in the different academic fields. Also, it hones our skills and knowledge for us to participate in conferences, in our lectures, in seminars, and other English language and literature related academic setting.
Good day, fellas. Before I start with my presentation, let me give you something to watch.
Dapat ikwento sa inyo. Inaamin ko na. Wala na kayong dapat iimbestiga sa akin. Inaamin ko na. Ako pumatay. Oh.
Galit ka ba dun sa pamilya? Galit ka ba naawa?
Ate, mga katanungan nyo, no comment na po ako dyan. Hindi pa ba sapat yung narinig nyo? Ulit-ulitin ko pa ba? Ako pumatay.
Ano yung kasama mo?
Wala akong kasama.
Nagpapasalamat nga si Bautista dahil hindi siya nasugatan ng atakihin ni Valentino.
Kita nyo si CCTV, talaga tinagayo, no? Malakas po yung guardian angel ko sa likod.
Nakita ko, ginanon mo eh. Saan tumama yun?
Hindi, baliktad yung baliktad. Nakabaliktad.
Nakabaliktad.
Baliktad.
Talagang wala. So nanakot ka lang.
Ginaya ko lang si Bato sa'yo, binaliktad yung talim.
Ng droga, pero hindi raw niya inabuso ang biktima.
Kapag nakaupo ka sa bisikleta, naniniwala po ako na nababawasan po ang virginity ng isang tao.
Sinasabi mo, yung nasa ratio, pwedeng nangyari sa bike, paano ba?
Yes.
Arestyo nagpositibo sa iligal na droga. Kabilang sa kanila, ang barke na si Leonard Marquez. Balak naman daw niyang magbago ang kaso.
So, magbabago rin po ako, kaya lang hindi po siya ngayon.
Kailan?
Baka bukas, sa makalawa. Pwede iwasan, kaya lang minsan may mga kaibigan na hindi mo mahindian.
Barangay Tanod. Dito na nadakip ang suspect, pero nagmamaang-maangan pa ang kumag.
Tulog po ako. Siguro, umiral siguro yung kadimonyo ng aking kamay. Gumalaw.
Pero aminado ito na gumagamit siya ng ipinagbabawal na gamot.
Aamin din naman ako. Wala naman tao na hindi perfecto eh.
Gusto ko lang malaman, ang order ko ay bulalo. Bakit ako bibigyan cup noodles? Bakit ko babayaran yung cup noodles? Pare ang bulalo, mga buto-buto, may laman. Pare, sinusutot ang bulalo, pare. Ang cup noodles, pare, noodles. Noodles, pare. Bigyan yung cup noodles. Saan yung po iba? Bigyan yung cup noodles to kung paano nasusutin yung cup noodles.
There's a lot of things you can do about money earned from that. Kush, 1.5 M per kilo. Maybe I can change the Philippines, like run for politics.
Dapat ay hindi raw ikinukulong ang mga gaya niyang malinis ang intensyon.
Advance ako mag-isip. Look at Antipolo. How much is the land area of Antipolo unused? Good for farming of marijuana.
Sandali.
Kuya, nagdodroga ka ba, kuya?
Paano masabi?
Tinatanong ko nga nagdodroga ka
I-drug test nyo ako para masigurado nyo.
Kuya, anong style ba yung buhok na gusto mo sanang ipagupit?
Gusto ko kalbo, kaso lang hindi marunong yung nagugupit.
Hindi marunong. Magkano binayad mo?
Walang bayad-bayad yung kaibigan ko yan.
Kaibigan mo. So, mabilisan gupit yan.
Paano mo nasabing mabilisan?
Kasi, ayan o, di ba?
Nakatulog na nga ako sa sobrang tagal, paano mo nasabing mabilisan?
Uka-uka eh. Galit ka ba?
Eh, hindi po.
So, hindi ikaw ang sumaksak. Linawin na natin, hindi ikaw ang sumaksak.
Eh, paano ko naman aminin yun?
So, nagsinungaling ka na hindi ka ikaw.
Nagsinungaling ako na ako yung sumaksak dahil nasasaktan na po ako. Tingnan mo. O yan, namamaga yung paa ko.
So namamaga.
Tingnan mo yung pusas ko.
Okay, ayan.
Tingnan mo, ngayon lang nilulugan. Ikaw sa sarili ko.
Yung buhok. Yuko ka. Yung buhok, ayan, hindi pa tapos. So, ayun o, sugat-sugat pa.
Yung upa, patingin niya, kuya, patingin mo.
So, yun o, hindi pa tapos yung buhok o.
Bumata ka ba, kuya? Gumamit ka?
Gumamit?
Oo.
Bakit mo ba akong tanungin? Dapat drug test mo na lang ako para masiguro mo.
Mamaya ita-drug test ka. Ikaw ang galata.
Hindi mo na makikita sa sariling pangangatawan ng tao, sa mukha ng tao.
Ito. Duterte, mag-draw tayo. Mag-draw tayo. Bigyan mo ako ng baril. Sige. Walang problema. Ba't ako matatakot?
Ito ang hamon ng lasing na si June Calumpiano kay President-elect Rodrigo Duterte.
Ako nahuli dahil lasing ako. Dahil sa kasalanan ko, nagpaputok ang baril. Ito, nahuli ako.
Saan galing yung baril mo?
Ay, binili ko. Bakit? Alam nga naman, hindi lisensyado yan. Galing yan sa illegal.
Bago ako ngayon pumasok sa bahay na yun, nakadroga na ako, nakainom na ako. Ngayon, pinasok ko yung bahay, kumuha ko ng kutsilyo sa kusina, naganap ako ng kutsilyo. Sabi ko, pag hindi ka sasaksak ko sa ito, papatayin kita.
Di na raw kasi nga matiis ang tawag ng laman, kaya pinasok ang bahay.
Pag lasing ako, talagang tamang manyak ako eh. Talagang hobby ko, mang-rape talaga, man-rape. Swerte pa ako, kasi hindi pa si Duterte yung nakaupo. Kung si Duterte, wala na. Finish na. Ako, mahal ko pa yung buhay ko eh. Talagang nagawa ko lang yan kasi tigang ako.
After watching the video, let me ask you something. Did you enjoy it? I didn't let you watch it for just to entertain you, but it has something to do with our report. My topic is discourse in the news. So first, let us define what news is. News deals typically with the recent events of a public scale and importance, means that news covers something that is happening recently in our society. Now, talking to its content, the events are attributed higher value if it concerns with the people, whether good or bad. It is what we call the news value. In a discourse, there are elements thematized as actor, agent, or the experiences of the reported events. Then, other participants can be identified by relation to the first person. Example of that was, let me write here something. Ayan. The lexical structure of the headlines of the two news. They were the same in content, but the headlines were different. Like this one. This way, published by the Times. Rioting blocks shot dead by police as ANC leader Smith. Then the other one was published by The Guardian. Police shot 11 dead in Salisbury riot. In the first headline, it was written there, rioting blocks, wherein the Guardian describes the rioting block as the African demonstrators, while in the Times, they describe or they referred rioting blocks as the violence that is happening that time. Now, if you compare these two, it has the same content, but the structure was different. Then, the Times, right there as writing block shot dead by police as an ANC leader Smith. They place rioting blocks at the first part of the sentence, which is the affected, and shot dead, it was the process, and then the police, the doer of the action, the agent. Then while the Guardian, the structure of their headline was police shoot 11 dead in Salisbury riot. They placed their agent on the first part of the sentence, then second was the process, and third was the affected. Now what's the difference between the two? Granted, the Times wrote their headline as a passive, and then while in the Guardian, their headlines was in active one. Then, of course, the active one is much, much accurate to use. Now, going back to the news, we have the term dictate 0 point, wherein it is defined as the organization of the report that is being published. For example, the CNN and the BBC. We have there also the dictates center mainstream, wherein it contains the reliable, the neutral, and factual info that concerns with the citizens in a democracy. Let's go to ideology. Ideology is defined as the sense of common beliefs, assumptions, and opinions of determined group. How can we connect that with the news? Of course, people won't just watch the news without giving their own insights and then letting them to ignore that kind of news. For example, the ideology, one of the ideology that we can get on the news was the patriarchal ideology, wherein in some tabloid, they publish contents with a crime committed by a man to a woman. Example, the rape scene. They write there, they heard sometimes a man, then without naming it, then the women that was being raped by that particular man, and then in the content, they will name the woman, and then sometimes they are not naming the man because they say it was confidential. But in terms of patriarchal, it means the man dominates the woman. Another ideology that can be seen in the news was nationalism. For example, in the Philippine context, nationalism can be found mostly this become the trend in our country between the China and the Philippines, because China is trying to invade our territory, particularly in Spratly Islands. They were claiming that it was theirs, but for our stand, of course, we won't let them to claim that particular area because it was partly located in the Philippine area. And then, of course, we as a Filipino, we won't let that Chinese people to claim that specific area because we believe that it was ours. It was part of our territory. The next ideology that can be seen on the news is the power. Power. For example, in the Philippine context again, our president, mostly he is the content of the headline in the newspaper that is being published here in our country. For example, in the Philippine Daily Inquirer, Manila Bulletin, and so on. And then, why is it that president is always can be the symbol of the power? Because Philippines is being ruled by a president named Rodrigo Duterte. Of course, as what Duterte is doing, it will reflect the image of our country to another country, of what they can see on our country based on the actions. The way our president speaks, he gives so much authority to the people he is ruling. Now, the relevance of this report to us being an English major is that, of course, we need to be aware on what is happening around us. And then, after that, after knowing what is happening around our society, we can able to give our own insight, and then we can do a critic on how the media, others say that fabricated the content of a particular news.
Thank you for watching today's episode of the School World CLL Talks. See you on our next video. Bye, classmates!